Well, good morning. I'm Mark Creffield. I'm your president and CEO of the Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for joining us this morning at our February Valley Morning Insight, State of the City, City of Victorville. This will be one of several state of events for us throughout the year, and we are extremely happy you're joining us this morning. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's MC. He has emceed this particular event for many years now, and we are always happy to have him back with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, David North with Bank of George. Good morning, David.
Morning, Mark. Thank you very much. Hey, it's great to see everybody here. It's great to see all your faces on the call today. However, I have to admit, I am looking forward to the day when we can all be together in the same room, in person, face to face, maybe not shaking hands, but at least be in the same room together. Until then, please stay safe, and hopefully someday soon we'll all be together. As Mark said, my name is David North. I am with the Bank of George, and it is my honor to once again MC this year's State of the City address. As Mark mentioned, I have done this many times before, but this is my first time ever doing it for the Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce, as this is our second ever meeting, a second ever VMI for the Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce. And I would like to just one more time congratulate Mark Creffield and staff for getting this together, all of the boards of directors that were involved. And I'd be remiss if I didn't also acknowledge Mark Austin and the group of community leaders that started all of this with a conversation several years ago. So congratulations to all of you for making this come to fruition. So the Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce. And as Mark mentioned, this is our annual State of the City address, but this is just one of many now that we are a consolidated group. And I look forward to the VMIs of hearing the other states and their address. So I'm sorry, other cities and their state of address. There's no better way to start off a meeting than in a word of prayer. And with that, we have asked Pastor Dane Davis with Impact Christian Church to lead us in the invocation. Good morning, Pastor Dane.
Okay, now I'm unmuted. Good morning. Thank you, David. It's a pleasure and honor to be able to lead the invocation today. Would you bow your heads with me, please? Oh, Heavenly Father, we come to you in the name of Jesus Christ, thanking you for this opportunity we have to come together as a community, even if it's online. We do thank you, Lord, for this Greater High Desert Chamber, and we thank you for each of the cities represented, Victorville, Hesperia, Adelanto, Apple Valley. Lord, many look down on this valley, but we consider it a privilege to live and work here. Lord, this could have been a much worse year, 2020, but we thank you, Lord, for bringing us through it unified. Lord, thank you for the successes that we're going to share together over this next hour or so together. Lord, our hearts go out to the families that have lost loved ones to COVID this year. We pray that you would give them strength, that you would give them peace and comfort during this time, and help us, Lord, as ones who are neighbors with these individuals, Lord, to reach out to them in love, in kindness, and compassion. May we lock arms together, and as we come out of this pandemic, hopefully halfway or 2/3 the way through this year, as we come out of it, may we come out of it stronger and more unified and able to build this community in a way that blesses its community members and is also a blessing to you, O God, as well. Thank you for this morning. Be with each one who speaks, each participant. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Dane. Hey, if you are without a church home and you're looking for one, I encourage you to maybe give Impact Christian Church a try. I'm sure Pastor Dane would and his team would welcome you with open arms. At this time, I'd like to lead the group in the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you're wearing pants, please stand up, put your hand up your heart, and join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. All right. And to keep us on track, our bell ringer, which will be our very own president and CEO, Mark Creffield, will be handling the bell ringing duties today. Is that correct, Mark?
Yes, it is correct. Thank you.
All right. So if you are a speaker, and we have many of you today, and you hear the bell ring, please stop. Keep us on time. However, with the luxury of technology, if you don't, we will just mute you. So no worries. We got it all taken care of. We can't put on an event like this without the support of our sponsors. And so we'd like to thank our presenting sponsors, the Don Fressy Charitable Foundation, Desert Valley Hospital, Desert Valley Medical Group, and Pacific Refrigerator Company for being our presenting sponsors for today's event. I would now like to introduce our first sponsor representing the Don Fressy Charitable Foundation. Please welcome Dan Tate. Good morning, Dan.
Morning, David. Thanks for having me. Since 2005, the Don Fressy Charitable Foundation has raised and invested over $1.5 million. In 1947, Don was named the most valuable high school baseball player in the nation, as awarded by Mrs. Lou Gehrig. Don got his first win striking out Mickey Mantle with a no-hitter going into the 9th inning. And this is Don on the Ed Sullivan Show celebrating that event. After pitching professionally for 15 years, Don retired to Apple Valley to join the family business, Hugo's, and then started Fressy's. Don credits joining Kiwanis as the spark that encouraged him to volunteer. Don and Jack Fales sponsored over 126 wine and memorabilia auctions, raising over $1 million for the local community. We asked back in 2005, why do we wait for people like Don to die before we all rise up and say what a good guy he is? So we decided to do something about it. We got together and raised $100,000 for the purpose of honoring other kids with $4,000 scholarships for their charitable and community service. Collectively, we've awarded over $650,000 since 2005. And these are some of our class photos, graduating photos, over 500,000 of volunteer hours. One of the other events we sponsor each year is each Christmas, we have a Veterans Holiday Tribute where we bring, it's an active engagement between our veterans and our kids, a really learning experience where we teach the kids how to honor our veterans for their service. And here's a couple pictures of kids recognizing and receiving the honor of the veterans like heroes. We give them neck ribbons, thank you ribbons, and all the engagement is between the kids and the veterans. Our other event is Santa's Sleigh, where we actually fulfill wish lists. So instead of a random toy drive, kids give us a wish list and we go out and spend $125 on each one of the kids. We also sponsor other events. Last year, we had the Isaiah Roberts Memorial Project. We're very involved in the community. We built an indoor and outdoor playground and basketball court in Old Town Victorville to give the kids a place to go as a lighted basketball court. We also help like Life Church in Victorville, who honors local veterans each year with a memorial service. We help the Elks Club each year with their stand down program, helping veterans find local resources. We've also sponsored projects like the High Desert Smoke Off, where we had over 1,200 attendees. Events like 13 Hours in Benghazi with Chris Tonto Toronto. Dennis D'Souza came in, we co-sponsored this with the Republican Club. We're always 100% volunteer, 100% of our money gets invested in the programs locally. We have no overhead. And if you'd like to know how you can help us and support one of these programs, here's my contact information. And I just kept it brief this morning, just give you a little overview of who we are and what we do.
Dan, thank you very much. And thank you for what you and the Don Fressy Charitable Foundation does in our community. We appreciate you. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce our second sponsor representing Desert Valley Hospital, Desert Valley Medical Group. Please welcome Fred Hunter. Good morning, Fred.
All right. Can everybody hear me all right?
You're good, Fred.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you for this time. And of course, it's nice to be a part of the chamber as we enter into 2021. One thing I do want to ask before I kind of get into the story of what I wanted to share is that everyone who is out there who is familiar with and has friends who do work at St. Mary, Victor Global, Barstow, and Desert Valley, that if you can just acknowledge the staff and thank them for all of their hard work over this last year, because it has taken a toll on the staff. And I can't express to all of you about how much it would mean to them just for having somebody to say thank you for what they've done to take care of the loved ones of this community in this high desert here. So, you know, we've done it together, this healthcare community, for who we are, and all of the hospitals up here to take care of the patients as they have needed care in the hospitals. You know, to paint a picture for what's been going on up here in the high desert, I mean, over the surge from Thanksgiving through Christmas, and finally, as we are into the first part of February, we're starting to see a decline in the number of patients requiring hospitalization. So I'm cautiously hopeful that we're moving in the right direction, that we start to see fewer and fewer patients needing hospitalization who are being diagnosed with COVID. And I'm going to hold my breath, though, because we still have the Super Bowl weekend coming up. And, you know, all sorts of things where there are too many people getting together, that sets up a stage for this virus to do a spreading event. So please, everyone, I'll remind you all to wear your face coverings, socially distance, and wash your hands as much as you can. On the more positive side of things, I do think that with the vaccines that have been developed, and they are in distribution now throughout the United States, and of course up here in the high desert in San Bernardino County, we are making some progress, although I say it's some progress because, again, I'll say this with some hesitation, that the distribution process has had its lumps and bumps and trying to gain some speed, and it is having its trouble. You know, we've been able to obtain doses to take care of our hospital workers throughout all of the hospitals up here, because there was, of course, a process for that to occur right away when the vaccine was first released. But the problems that we're starting to see now, we're really trying to help this high desert community. And for San Bernardino County, there is a vaccine clinic set up down at Ontario Speedway. If anybody is interested in wanting to take a drive down there, do go online and sign on to the website of sbcovid19.com/vaccine. That will take you into that website to where you can make an appointment and get down there. What we're trying to do up here, though, in the high desert is to get a site set up so that we can vaccine this high desert community. The next phase is going to involve law enforcement and, of course, the superintendent, well, not superintendents, but the faculty and the workers in the schools in the high desert. And we have been working with the county. Randy Castillo from St. Mary and I have been on some calls to try to see what we can do to influence this so that we can get a site set up here in the high desert. Spoke to Dr. Walden regarding this over there at Victor Valley College. They've already had a testing site set up over there for several months now. And what we'd like to see, or what he would like to see, and he's volunteered his campus to be a vaccine clinic as well. So I wish I had better information to share with all of you to say that it is there, but just know that we are working on it, even though we have not received any confirmation that has been decided. The challenges, of course, come from the distribution of the vaccine. We have to go through a site called CalVax requested, and then, of course, the state then makes the distribution, the decision on where it will go in the state of California, then into San Bernardino County, and then, of course, then to the different sites. So there are a lot of initiatives underway as related to pharmacies as well, but all I ask is that everyone try to remain a little bit patient if they can, and do your part, though, which is just protect yourself, okay, and protect your family. So it is still possible just to keep that spread to a minimum as much as possible. Here at Desert Valley Hospital Medical Group, we do have a medication called, everyone say it with me, it's called bamlanivimab. So just remember BAM, that's all you need to do. But it is a medication that is a monoclonal antibody. I don't need to go into all the science of it, but it has been doing some wonders on those patients who are presenting with COVID symptoms who do not need hospitalization, but it's those symptoms that could be treated outpatient. And when they are scheduled for this particular infusion, and it's one time, it helps reduce the symptoms and it helps the recovery. So talk to your employees. You know, if you know of anything of where somebody is feeling sick, but they don't need to be in the hospital, they do get tested and they are positive, but they don't need to be hospitalized. You know, have them call the hospital here, and we'll try to work with all of you to try to get them set up for this. And it has been doing a lot of wonders for those patients. So that is pretty exciting news. And the last thing I just want to share with all of you is that we are doing COVID testing here at the medical group side. And if you just call Marie Langley, and you can get that scheduled through her. And of course, that number is 760-241-8000, extension 8699. And I think that's all I have to share right now. So Happy New Year to everyone as we move forward into 2021. Let's get COVID behind us. And let's get our businesses open, and let's get our employees back to work. Everyone needs to be able to, you know, earn a decent living and to pay their bills and to be comfortable in this life that we live. So thank you so much.
Bam, I think I can remember that. Fred, thank you. Marie, thank you. Thank you to your staff. We appreciate all of the hard work that you guys are doing from the bottom of our heart. Thank you guys very much, and thank you for your sponsorship today. I would now like to introduce our third presenting sponsor, representing Pacific Refrigerator. Please welcome Aaron Korn. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Aaron Korn. I'm the general manager here at Pacific Refrigerator. It's great to see everyone here. Want to congratulate the new council in Victorville and thank them for their service. So moving on here, I'll go quickly through this. Pacific Refrigerator manufactures walk-in coolers. It's not very exciting to the average person, but if you've eaten today, you've probably reaped the benefits of cold storage. So Pacific Refrigerators built thousands of units over the 75 years we've been in business, and our coolers are in grocery stores, food warehouses, restaurants, and hotels coast to coast, including every resort on the Las Vegas Strip. So we provide parts via our online store. We have a repair service, not only here in the high desert, but to much of Southern California and Southern Nevada as well. We've been headquartered in the high desert since 2005, and we were blessed with a record-setting year in 2020. Pacific is a family-owned and operated business. The owner, John Gomez, a little American success story here. He started with Pacific Refrigerator in 1974 at the tender age of 19, sweeping the floors. Worked his way up, helped grow the company, and when the founder decided to retire in 91, Mr. Gomez was there to purchase Pacific and take the reins. And today we employ over 30 employees here in Apple Valley, and we're proud to provide a legacy to his children and grandchildren, who several of whom work in the business. So some of the largest projects we've had over the last 5 years have been in what's called the non-commercial food service industry. That includes hospitals, company commissaries, cafeterias, educational food services, things like this. What you see here is a commissary for a large technology company that's coincidentally named after a fruit up in Cupertino. I've been a part of the Pacific family for about a year. My primary duty, the reason I was hired was to help diversify the company. So we developed some mobile cold storage. As you can see, the next slide as our mobile cooler. It can be used for restaurants needing temporary storage, nonprofit food distribution. They're great for special events, disaster recovery, things like that, and they can be powered by a regular generator. And moving on, so we're diversifying beyond walk-in coolers, and what this is a proof of concept structure using our insulated panels. What we want to do is, this is actually a kiosk designed for COVID testing and temperature taking. But by simply adding one panel in either direction, we can make this a nice, I think it's about 9 by 11 foot room, which can be used for homeless shelter housing. That's really our primary focus right now. We would eventually like to move into auxiliary dwelling units, which is like backyard homes and tiny homes. So we envision our panels as being a great solution to this problem. So, like I said, the main focus right now is our homeless shelters. We provide an insulated panel that's stronger than some of the other corrugated plastic and aluminum tube frame shelters that they're using today. And we have a great insulating value. They're very energy efficient, and they're easy to store, ship, and assemble on a standard truck, and be stored flat on a pallet in a warehouse. So The next slide, I don't know if it's going to come through. Oh, we do. Awesome. The time lapse. So this is that particular structure being assembled in about 30 minutes. So these can be put together very quickly and easily with our cam lock system. Think IKEA bookshelves, but instead you're building a home. So this is that same proof of concept kiosk you saw. Obviously, adding just a few more panels doesn't add a whole lot of time. So in kind of our dream for different communities, the next slide is a conceptual rendering, really, of how we envision these tiny homes, these homeless shelters being used. So imagine, taking a vacant, unused parcel of land and turning it into a vibrant community, providing stability and a new start to some of the most vulnerable in the valley. So the concept here includes 50 individual 8x10 housing units. We envision one individual per unit. However, the rooms are large enough to accommodate 2 or even 4 on bunk beds in a squeeze. They'd all be equipped with windows, doors, heating, air conditioning, lighting, electrical service. They'd have all the safety items, carbon monoxide and smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, and all that stuff. So this is the kind of the community we envision, with a resource center, community center in the center there, where they could house employment, educational, faith-based resources, things like that. And then similar to a campground, we'd have communal showers and restroom facilities. And in the center, that covered patio area is a large outdoor kitchen. We could put barbecues, sinks for washing dishes, things like that. So our residents would have a cooking facilities also. So these are some things I'd like all of the local councils to consider. We have other resources we can pull in also, as far as contractors and developing these sites. This is really something we're very excited about, and just because we can help our community so much with this. This is a huge problem in the Victor Valley. Victorville has the second largest homeless population in San Bernardino County. So we'd love to be part of this solution. So anyway, want to thank everyone for your time. Thanks for joining us today. And if you have any questions, I'll leave my information in the chat window also.
Aaron, thank you very much. An IKEA home.
There you go.
Thank you, Aaron. We appreciate it. And thank you again to the presenting sponsors, Don Fressy Charitable Foundation, Desert Valley Hospital, Desert Valley Medical Group, and Pacific Refrigerator for sponsoring today's event. We would like to thank now our 2 business sponsors, Burtech Waste. Thank you very much for sponsoring this event. And then Majestic Land. Thank you, Dan, again, for being a double sponsor, one for the Don Fressy Charitable Foundation and for Majestic Land. We appreciate you guys very much for your sponsorship. We'd now like to thank our 10 general sponsors, the City of Victorville, Excelsior Charter Schools, Heritage Victor Valley Medical Group, ICR Staffing Services, Mercy Air, Midway Home Solutions, Saddle Rock Reverse Mortgage, Southern California Edison, Southwest Gas Corporation, and Sterling Development. Once again, thank you all to all of our sponsors. We truly appreciate your support for today's event. I would now like to call on Ruby Clark, the Chamber's Director of Member Services, to announce the Chamber's newest members. Good morning, Ruby.
Hi, good morning. Good morning, David. Thanks for the introduction. Good morning, members. I do want to welcome our new members. So we do have quite a few this morning. Our first one is California Empire Real Estate Agent Amy, Coldwell Banker Home Source on Highway 18 in Apple Valley, Coldwell Banker Home Source in Jess Ranch, Coldwell Banker Home Source on Main Street in Hesperia, Collaborative Autism Management Programs Incorporated, Premier Financial Alliance, Team Speedwash Victorville Location 2, and Team Speedwash Victorville Location 3. Our members are taking advantage of our new member benefits, and they're consolidating multiple locations through our Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce. We're excited about that. And I do want to thank all of our members for continuing to support our doing your membership.
Ruby, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And welcome to all of the new members. Now's the time for our sound off. A sound off is an opportunity for a chamber member to pay for the opportunity to speak for 1 minute during this event. The cost is $20. This is what Mark is going to earn his keep today with as the bell ringer. I will now introduce our chamber members who paid for a 1 minute sound off. When I call your name and business, please unmute your microphone and you will have 1 minute to present. Our first sound off is Marty Martinez with the Mojave River Watershed Group. Good morning, Marty.
Hi, good morning, everybody. And thank you to everybody before this, all of our sponsors. Hearing what y'all, the amazing work y'all do in the high desert is really just invigorating. But, you know, to go back to the sound off, I'm Marty. I'm one of the stormwater troopers here at the Mojave River Watershed Group. As I'm sure a lot of you already know, we're an organization formed by our high desert cities, Apple Valley, Hesperia, Victorville, and the county. And we're dedicated to protecting our community's watershed, plants, wildlife against stormwater pollution, especially with the rains that we've had like in the past few days. But to do that, what we do need is community support. So we're looking for partners to team up and support in stormwater savvy projects and programs. Historically, we've worked with different organizations in community cleanups, sponsoring events, hosting trainings, and actually having welcome home kits for realty groups. So to welcome new high desert residents. So if you're a realty group, you know, let us know if you're interested. But beyond that, we're super stoked to be working with y'all this year. We're excited to be part of the newly formed Greater High Desert Chamber. And if you'd like to contact us and talk about how we can partner up, contact info behind me. Reach out to us in any form. Thanks, everybody. And we're looking forward to working with y'all soon.
Great. Thank you, Marty. Our next sound off is William Watson with High Desert Alarm. Good morning, William.
Morning, how you guys doing? I just wanted to take this opportunity to introduce one of our new sales rep. His name is Adrian. If you happen to run into him out in the community, please, by all means, go and ask him some questions, help me train him. If you get an opportunity sometime today to call the office and introduce yourself, you're more than happy. We're more than happy to take that call, and you can answer any questions that you might have from Adrian. Thank you. Pleasure to meet you guys.
Great. Thank you, William. Thank you, Adrian. Our last sound off is Marshall Haproff with the Mojave Desert Air Quality Management District. Good morning, Marshall.
Good morning, David. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone. I want to throw this at you. $1,000. How does that sound? $1,000. Well, we want to give you $1,000 to get rid of your old car. If you have a vehicle sitting around that's 20 years old or older, and it's been registered in our jurisdiction for the last 24 months, and it's operable, meaning you don't have to push it out of your yard or out of your driveway to get it to move, and you can drive it, we want to pay you to get rid of that car. So I'm going to put some information in the chat box. Go to our website to check out all of the information. There's a few more restrictions that apply. And for those of you who can't look at the chat box or might be on the phone, you can call 800-717-7624 and find out how you can get rid of your old car, and we'll give you $1,000. Thank you so much. And remember, clean air is everybody's business. Thanks, David.
Thanks,
Hey,
Marshall.
David, I was really hoping to ring off Marshall, and he got in right at 59 seconds. Good job, Marshall.
Nicely done, Marshall. You know, I don't have a car that's 20 years old, but I have a kid that's over 20. Will you give me $1,000 for him?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I thought I'd try. All right, so it's now time for today's State of the City of Victorville presentation. Before we show the video, I would like to introduce the mayor of the City of Victorville, Deborah Jones. Good morning, Mayor Jones.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Are we ready?
You're on. Yes.
We're on. Well, it's so good to be here, and I'm happy to be joined with a few of my colleagues to present to you today. 2020 tested the City of Victorville just as it tested us all. It was the first time we declared a local emergency and activated our Emergency Operations Center since the 90s. Also in 2020, for the first time ever, we were forced to close our facilities to public access in order to protect our community from the spread of COVID-19. Although COVID may have changed the way we do business, it didn't diminish our services. We quickly focused our resources and employees on the main concern, protecting our community while ensuring the continuity of critical city services. COVID-19 pushed us to be more creative in our use of technology to accomplish tasks, connect with our community, and serve our residents in new ways. Since the start of this pandemic, our mantra has been, COVID won't derail us from our goals to improve Victorville. We stayed focused on addressing the major issues affecting our city: crime, homelessness, infrastructure, and fiscal sustainability. After all, the critical needs of our city will continue long after we conquer this pandemic. To this end, we called upon our employees to dig deep. We asked them to take on added responsibilities to help our community through this pandemic while continuing critical services and while working to achieve the challenging goals we established for 2020. Thanks to this singular focus, we positioned Victorville to attain the important objectives before us despite COVID-19. And along the important journey that was 2020, we learned a lot about ourselves and how we handle adversity. When faced with life's challenges, we find our mettle. We learn that we are made of good things, that we have core values, and that they become apparent for all of us to see. In 2020, we learned that the City of Victorville is dependable, neighborly, determined, resourceful, and responsible. And because these values guided our actions this past year, the City of Victorville is ready for 2021 and beyond. I'm honored to join with my fellow City Council members in sharing with you Victorville's State of the City presentation.
Like so many in our community, COVID-19 dominated 2020 in the city of Victorville. Responding to this pandemic, ensuring continuity of services, and protecting our community from the spread of COVID-19 were our top priorities. We also wanted to help our local businesses with their economic recovery.
The City of Victorville declared a local emergency on March 17th, and the city activated its Emergency Operations Center the very next day. This enabled the city to organize its emergency response to COVID-19, devote staff to working in new ways to help the Victorville community through the pandemic, and it enabled the city to seek federal, state, and local dollars to reimburse costs associated with its emergency response. Leadership quickly established key goals for Victorville's Emergency Operations Center. Protect the community from the spread of COVID-19, ensure the continuity of critical city services, assist local businesses with their economic recovery. The city coordinated its response with federal, state, and county organizations and used its communication platform to inform and educate the community about safety precautions, financial resources, and business assistance programs. Through its Emergency Operations Center, the city reached out to local hospitals, service organizations, and community groups to assess community needs. Information about food pantries and a variety of assistance programs was distributed to help seniors and at-risk individuals.
As time carried on, COVID-19 began to have a devastating impact on our residents and businesses. So in order to provide financial assistance to so many who are hurting in our community, our City Council voted to repurpose federal dollars that we were receiving from HUD to create two grant programs. One grant program assisted local small businesses with their recovery efforts. The second helped local nonprofits provide services to aid our community through this pandemic.
Recognizing that small businesses are the backbone of Victorville's economy, the Victorville City Council voted in May to approve an allocation of $445,000 in federal CDBG dollars to establish the Reopening Victorville Small Business Assistance Program. Small businesses could apply for grants of up to $15,000 each to help them continue operation and retain employees. In Phase 1 of this program, the city assisted 16 local businesses. Phase 2 recipients will be announced in the coming weeks. The City Council approved an additional allocation of $121,000 to help local nonprofits. This provided frontline COVID-19 services and programs to residents negatively impacted by COVID-19. These community outreach grants of up to $10,000 each were awarded to local charities providing food, rent and utility assistance, housing programs, homelessness prevention, and much more. In December, as the surge in COVID-19 cases began taxing the local healthcare system, the City of Victorville acquired and assembled a tent hospital at Victor Valley Global to support their surge plan. The city also assembled a mobile field treatment trailer that will be staffed by Victorville Fire paramedics. Should this service be needed, it will assist with triaging and treating patients at local hospitals during the surge. The City of Victorville stands ready to continue to assist the community through this pandemic.
Connecting with our residents and reinforcing our sense of community has always been a high priority of ours, and it became more important than ever during this pandemic. We knew our families would need safe alternatives to the in-person sports and activities they've come to rely on from our city. So we took our recreation and library programs virtual, and our events became drive-through.
The city created a virtual recreation center where residents can stay active with fun exercises and activities, explore museums, and experiment with art despite the stay-at-home order. The Victorville City Library remained open virtually to serve residents, and with the help of grant funds, the Zip Books program continues to deliver books directly to individual households free of charge. Popular activities were story time with the librarian and an online Harry Potter trivia contest. In August, the city received a generous donation of nearly 200,000 face masks from a local plastic extruder, Everank Inc., to safeguard the city's first responders and citizens. The donation included 10,000 KN95 masks for first responders and over 187,000 three-ply face masks for Victorville residents. City staff organized 2 successful drive-through giveaways in August and September to distribute these masks to the residents of Victorville. The city found ways to connect with community members while adhering to state and county orders. In October, the city hosted a Hallow Boo drive-through trunk or treat, which provided residents a safer alternative to traditional trick-or-treating. Participants remained in their vehicles while visiting city booths decorated in a variety of fun themes. City staff, donned in Halloween costumes, gave away more than 65,000 pieces of candy. More fun events and activities included a virtual Halloween costume contest, Boo Box activity kit for families, and an at-home campout. Participants were invited to share photos of their creations for a chance to win prizes. Though the pandemic forced the cancellation of Victorville's annual Veterans Day parade and ceremony, the city continued with tradition and honored over 82 Victorville veterans with a tribute video recognizing their military service. The city's Veterans Day 5K Freedom Run also went virtual. Over 200 participants registered for this event to show their support for military veterans. The community response to these events has been overwhelmingly positive, and the city looks forward to engaging with the residents of Victorville in safe, creative ways throughout 2021.
Providing our residents with prompt, helpful, and trusted information is of great consequence these days. By using our established communication platforms like our website and social media, we were able to quickly engage with our community members when it mattered most. We also delivered helpful information and resource flyers to nursing homes, senior communities, and churches. And we launched our first ever digital newsletter.
The first edition of Victorville Connect launched and was distributed to more than 35,000 residents in late September. This newsletter is a quick and easy way for community members to stay informed about City of Victorville services, programs, small business grants, and much more. Subscribers have the option to receive information on specific topics like road construction and neighborhood news. Community members are invited to subscribe to Victorville Connect on the city's website at victorvilleca.gov.
Despite the challenges presented by COVID-19, new construction thrived in Victorville in 2020. We were fortunate to experience an increase in building permits and new home construction in our city, and we continue to see new businesses develop in a variety of sectors, including aviation, healthcare, retail, and more. We're grateful to these businesses for investing in Victorville and bringing jobs to our community.
The City of Victorville issued 505 single-family home permits in 2020, a 15% increase over 2019's total. While most of the new homes were constructed in existing neighborhoods, an important milestone was reached when KB Homes broke ground on the first new residential tract on raw land in Victorville since the 2008 recession, a testament to the strength of Victorville's home construction market. The city also experienced growth at its Southern California Logistics Airport. Notably, the airport signed new lease agreements with ComAv and Mitsubishi. ComAv leased additional space to store and maintain aircraft that were grounded due to the pandemic, and Mitsubishi's agreement was for hangar and runway space to conduct flight testing. These lease agreements generated more than $566,000 in new revenue for the airport, and they boosted the local economy with an estimated $871,000 in monthly revenue through local hotel, car rental, restaurant, fuel purchases, and more. New healthcare facilities are under construction in Victorville, including Western Dental, which is repurposing over 4,700 square feet of space on La Paz Drive next to Harbor Freight, and Desert Ridge Transitional Care, a 170-bed skilled nursing facility, is currently under construction on 11th Avenue. Two industry-leading used car dealers are coming to Victorville. Car Exchange, a Highline used car dealer, will occupy the former Target building on Palmdale Road, while CarMax is building its newest location on Civic Drive next to Krispy Kreme. And Chick-fil-A plans to open their first location in the high desert, in Victorville. Earlier this year, the industry leader was issued demolition permits to raze the former Marie Callender's restaurant and make way for the construction of its new, over 5,000 square foot, double drive-through restaurant on Mariposa Road. The City of Victorville also completed a few important infrastructure projects in 2020, including the construction of its Doris Davies skate park, named for beloved benefactor and ardent supporter of youth recreation, Doris Davies. At 15,600 square feet, Victorville Skate Park is the largest skate park in the high desert. With its challenging obstacles like a large bowl, hubbas, flat bars, wally, ledge, stairs, rails, and more, Victorville Skate Park draws skateboarding enthusiasts from throughout Southern California.
This project was many years in the making, and we are thankful to our local skateboard community and residents for their support and input into the final design. Victorville now has a premier skate park in this region. This is a terrific amenity that provides much needed entertainment for our youth and has given our youth a much needed source of enjoyment and escape from isolation caused by COVID-19.
At the intersection of the Green Tree Boulevard and Hesperia Road, the city relocated a sewer mainline that was in the pathway of the future Green Tree extension. With this important project complete, construction on the much-anticipated Green Tree extension, which will provide another east-west corridor between Apple Valley and Victorville, is on track to begin in 2021.
The Green Tree extension has been in the making for decades, and we are excited to make progress on this important infrastructure project that will benefit our entire region.
In 2021, the city also plans to widen the Bear Valley Road Bridge between Industrial Boulevard and Ridgecrest Road. In addition to expanding the roadway, adding sidewalks and room for future bike lanes, a double turn lane will be added from eastbound Bear Valley Road to Ridgecrest Road in order to alleviate traffic congestion in this busy area. The total construction cost for this project is estimated at $9.9 million and will be funded through federal, road development impact fees, and Measure I dollars.
A very important focus for the City of Victorville is improving quality of life for residents. In 2020, the city continued its efforts to address illegal nuisance behaviors and crime.
You spoke and we listened. You voiced concerns about crime in our city, and you told us that our fines weren't high enough to deter nuisance behaviors affecting quality of life and safety in Victorville. We took action to address your concerns. We installed automatic license plate readers that are helping our police department prevent crime and increase safety in our community. We also increased fines in order to deter illegal marijuana grow houses and fireworks in our city.
With City Council approval, 57 automatic license plate readers were installed throughout the city to assist the Victorville Police Department proactively prevent crime and increase safety and security in the community. In the first 3 months of the program, from August to November 2020, automatic license plate readers resulted in 157 hits and 53 arrests for a variety of crimes including auto theft, robbery, attempted murder, assault, domestic violence, and child abuse, as well as the recovery of illegal narcotics and firearms. Automatic license plate readers have proven to be very effective in providing critical investigative information needed to prevent and solve crime in Victorville. Illegal grow houses, which average anywhere from 300 to 2,500 marijuana plants, significantly impact quality of life, and they cause safety hazards, diminish home values, and gut neighborhoods. In addition, responding to illegal marijuana grows is a tremendous drain on city resources. In December 2019, the Victorville City Council approved Ordinance 2400, which expanded enforcement measures and added additional penalties for illegal cannabis grows. Violators now receive a $100 fine for every plant above the legal limit of 6 plants, plus a fine of $1,000 each day health, safety, and building code violations remain uncorrected. For repeat offenses at the same location, the per plant fine increases to $1,000. Since enacting this new ordinance and fine structure, the city has experienced a 40% decline in the annual number of illegal marijuana grow violations. In 2019, the city experienced 94 violations, compared to 57 in 2020. The City Council also increased the fine for illegal fireworks from $100 to $1,000. In May 2020, the city launched its If You Light It, We'll Write It campaign to educate the community about the new fines and to further deter this behavior that causes safety hazards and affects quality of life for residents. The education campaign focused on the negative impacts of fireworks. They stress vets, scare pets, start fires, and cause injuries. During the 2020 fireworks season, the city issued 180 citations for illegal fireworks, more than double the number of citations issued in 2019 and 22 times the number issued in 2018.
Identifying solutions to homelessness is an important priority for the City of Victorville. Our Homelessness Solutions Task Force has made significant progress since its formation in April 2019. This group of citizen stakeholders is helping us identify strategies and funding sources to reduce homelessness in our city. With their help, we've developed plans for a wellness center campus that has great potential to lessen homelessness in our city.
The Wellness Center campus will operate a low-barrier emergency shelter where homeless individuals will receive life-changing services such as income stabilization, housing navigation, and mental health counseling they need to break the cycle of homelessness and improve quality of life. Case managers will connect homeless individuals and families to helpful resources, and an on-site medical clinic will be available to residents and the broader community. This 168-bed facility will be located on city-owned land at 16902 First Street. Rather than a congregate setting, the shelter will offer small individual living quarters built from recycled materials. In 2020, the city made great progress towards securing funding for the Wellness Center campus, including a permanent local housing allocation grant that will bring in over $630,000 annually to support Wellness Center operations, and a one-time homeless housing and prevention grant in the amount of $300,000. More information about Victorville's Wellness Center campus is available at victorvilleca.gov/homelessness solutions. This past year, during the public health crisis presented by COVID-19, the value of Victorville's Homelessness Solutions Task Force and its ability to bring stakeholders and resources together was reinforced. For a variety of reasons, homeless individuals are extremely vulnerable to contagious diseases like COVID-19. Simba Center, a nonprofit member of the city's task force, quickly jumped in to offer their medical expertise to protect the community's homeless population from the spread of COVID-19. Simba Center doctors, led by Dr. Sean Smith, volunteered their time to establish safety protocols and intake procedures at Victorville's 3 homeless shelters. They visit the shelters twice weekly to perform wellness checks for the residents. They conduct COVID-19 testing on residents and staff, and they outreach to the city's broader homeless community to connect them with resources and offer medical care.
Simba Center exemplifies the best of the best and the strength we have when we work together. Thanks to Simba Center's extraordinary humanitarian efforts, our local homeless shelters have been able to protect our communities most at risk during this pandemic. We are grateful to Simba Center, our local homeless shelters, and the members of our Homeless Solution Task Force for their selfless service to our community.
As city leaders, one of our greatest priorities is fiscal sustainability. In 2020, faced with the economic uncertainties presented by COVID-19, we took action to protect Victorville's fiscal health.
In March, the City of Victorville declared a local emergency, enabling it to qualify for federal, state, and county funding to assist with the city's emergency response. To date, the city has received $3.12 million in CARES Act funding to reimburse COVID-19 expenses, such as an additional paramedic squad needed to respond to increased medical aid calls. Another $1.5 million in CARES Act funding for additional costs has been approved and pending receipt. Early on, the city also took action to reduce spending, anticipating a possible loss in revenue. The annual budget was reduced by $2 million. Fortunately, thanks to an increase in revenue from online shopping, revenue losses weren't as steep as forecasted. Because of these proactive measures, Victorville has been able to weather the economic downturn caused by COVID-19 without significant negative impacts to its fiscal health. Also in 2020, the city worked to tackle another financial challenge: how to pay for an expansion in essential city services for Victorville's growing population. The population of Victorville has nearly doubled since 2000, but during this same time frame, police staffing has risen just 1.6%. Since 2008, police call volume rose by 11%, and fire and medical calls for service increased 49% since 2011.
For many years, residents have expressed their concerns about increasing crime and homelessness in Victorville and their decreased sense of feeling safe in our city. We examined ways we could improve safety in Victorville. The result was the Victorville Public Safety Plan, which recommends expanded police, fire, code enforcement, and animal care and control services.
The city looked at factors affecting safety in Victorville. 911 emergency response times, coverage areas, staffing, crime rates, call volumes, and much more were examined. Key recommendations of the safety plan include moving to an 8-beat patrol system, increased neighborhood patrols, and additional fire personnel to man Fire Station 315. Added code enforcement will address blight and illegal dumping, and additional police personnel will speed up 911 emergency response to ever-increasing call volumes.
In addition to public safety services, our growing community is also requesting expanded community and library services. The challenge is that the cost of providing these services is outpacing city revenue. After much deliberation and careful consideration, our council chose to give our Victorville voters the say, and we placed Measure P on the November 2020 ballot. We took this decision very seriously, and in the end, the tax measure was necessary for the future strength, safety, and quality of life of our community and the fiscal health of our city.
Measure P, a 1-cent general sales tax, was approved by the Victorville voters in the November 2020 election. The new sales tax of 8.75% will go into effect on April 1st, 2021, and will be collected at the point of sale. The revenue will be remitted to the Tax Equalization Board, then forwarded to the City of Victorville quarterly. The city expects to receive the first quarter of new tax revenue in July 2021 in time for it to be factored into the city's fiscal year 21-22 budget. Measure P will generate an estimated $15 million annually that will be used to expand essential city services. Specifically, Measure P revenue will enable the city to add 30 police personnel, speed response times, open Fire Station 315, and add fire personnel to improve medical and fire response, invest in resources needed to reduce homelessness, expand code enforcement services to reduce blight, illegal dumping, and other nuisances, and expand library and literacy programs.
Measure P will help us build a safer, stronger Victorville by providing the revenue we need to expand critical services for our growing population. We hold in high regard the trust our community has placed in us to use the revenue generated by this new sales tax to fulfill our shared vision for a better Victorville. One of the council's first steps will be to establish a Citizens Oversight Committee to ensure Measure P revenue is spent for its intended purpose. With financial transparency an imperative, we'll provide regular updates to our community.
Well, thank you to the Greater High Desert Chamber of Commerce for this opportunity to present our state of the city. Our message was one of perseverance and focus despite the challenges of 2020. I know this same endeavor to triumph over adversity is shared by so many of you. It's our mutual determination, pride, and emphasis on community that make our high desert the place we love. From all of us at the City of Victorville, we are honored to serve you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. That was a wonderful video. The City of Victorville is in great hands, and we appreciate yourself and all the council members along with city staff for all the hard work they do for the City of Victorville. So thank you again for being here this morning. That was just a great video. And I want to let everyone know, if you missed any parts of this video, we will have this on our social media pages later this afternoon. And again, thank you again to the City of Victorville for today's presentation. I have a few chamber updates that I wanted to quickly go through. Our friends at the SBC Workforce Development Board is having a 2021 California Labor Law Update event on February 11th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. The registration link can be found in this Friday's Chamber e-blast. Our next coffee break update is a week from this Friday, February 12th at 9 a.m. The Zoom link to register will go out next Tuesday. And our next Valley Morning Insight will be on March 3rd. That's a Wednesday, March 3rd at 8 a.m. And we will have our newly elected Assemblyman, Thurston Smitty Smith, will be presenting his time so far in Sacramento. Well, at this time, I'd like to go ahead and thank our MC, David North, for and our presenting sponsors, the Don Feresi Charitable Foundation, Desert Valley Hospital, Desert Valley Medical Group, and Pacific Refrigerator Company. Thank you also to Sam That with the State of the City presentations for all of his technical assistance today. And his hands were all over that video, so great job, Sam. And finally, again, a special thank you to the City of Victorville for presenting their State of the City today. Again, we thank you all for being here this morning. I'm going to go ahead and get everyone to unmute, and we'll say our goodbyes, and we'll see you all real soon.
This morning.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Miss you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye. Have a good day.
Thank you again to everybody.
I like my suit.
Good morning. Have a great day.
Look good, Sam.
See you soon. Good job, Sam. Good job, Sam.
Take care, everybody.
Stay safe.
See you all soon.